My prediction: Knicks in 6. The outcome: Knicks in 6. Yay! All right, so the Knicks just won an insane game. They almost choked it away. First things first, Pistons fans and Pistons, shout to y'all. Y'all were not supposed to be here. You put up a hell of a fight, and the Knicks, just by the skin of their teeth, outlasted you on the road in Detroit. Jalen Brunson, aka Jalen Brunson, him, clutch player of the year, hits a huge clutch three, and Malik Beasley fumbles the basketball out of bounds, pulls a Gary Trent Jr. off that AJ Green pass in the Bucks elimination game in Game 5. Not too long ago, when we saw the John Halliburton thing go out between Giannis and headbutting him and this and that, and now he's literally out for indefinitely for Patriots games, either home or on the road. But that's a different discussion for a different day. Off topic. But wow, Jalen Brunson just saved the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks simply in the clutch just out-talented the Pistons. Asar Thompson was sticking on K like glue, gets him with a killer. Boom, boom. Asar is leaning. Shout out Chris Smooth. That man needed a map. Give that man a map. Shout out Dora the Explorer as well. If you know, you know. Which you guys should. I feel like the Knicks overall, even Knicks fans were frustrated about this series win. Because you have the talent. You just need more out of the offense. And a lot of pointing fingers at, guys. Not guys, but, a guy like Mikal Bridges who had off and on series today. He was on. Previously to that, especially that putback layup he had like 35 seconds to go in that fourth quarter. That was insanely clutch. Reminds me as a Heat fan when we played against the Pistons. When we played against the Knicks. And OG hit a shot like that as well. And they ended up winning the game. Like literally less than like a minute to go in the fourth quarter. That just swung all the momentum. The Knicks were choking until they weren't. The Knicks, they literally went down by like 6 at a point, maybe. I think maybe like 4 to 6. And then here goes the run. The cat fouls out. I'm like, oh. But Brunson. And then Bridges. Y'all showed up when it mattered most. You barely outlasted him. You definitely out-talented him. I'm going to keep pushing this gimmick, by the way, as well. Because, Jalen Duren had like 20 points today. They had like a 20-point double-double. He averaged, 10, a couple assists and like maybe a block or two a game. One of the first players in the world to do that. Like a weird, like Thaddeus Young-esque stat. Start Richard Robinson. Knicks fans are saying this. I'm a Heat fan. I'm not anywhere near a Knicks fan. Start Richard Robinson. You can kind of like protect the paint. And then you have to rely on like Huck Porty back of 5 or Presses Achua back of 5. I mean, Huck Porty short presses it. He's either hit or miss. That's a Presses shoot. That's the Presses Achua experience even as a Heat fan. And the Raptors, he had his moment. Was putting in the lyrics of filler in that OJ Anunoby trade. Start Richard Robinson. Or if not, play double big. Josh Hart does a lot for the team, defensively, rebounding, playmaking wise, but they treat him like Mitchell Robinson. They treat him like Mitchell Robinson at the free throw line. They literally treat him like Ben Simmons, like Russell Westbrook. They literally leave him wide open. A lot of space between Josh Hart and the nearest defender when he's on the three-point line. Sorry, Mitchell Robinson. Need more paint presence there. I'm just saying. You might need to start again, this is a bad example because it was today that Josh Hart played one of the best games of the series. But maybe some Josh Hart. Maybe not play him like 40 minutes a game, Maybe give him like 30 to 35. Give him good spurts, And then put Mitchell Robinson again. Try to double big lineup. Cat is a power forward. Play Mitchell Robinson at the 5. Obviously next year, maybe he starts there because he's still building back from that injury. But come on, man. Jalen Brunson, you're him. A lot of people to give him out the foul baiting, this, that, and the third. Jalen Brunson is that guy. Mid-range 3. Playmaker-wise. Getting to the cup. Getting to the line especially. That's tough. Clutch player of the year for a reason. Just Brunson game 3 down the stretch. That was disgusting. That was a beautiful, beautiful watch. And then that sidestep 3 hit left wing. 4 minutes to go at the end of game 4. Bag work. Lefty cash. That was tough. when he hit that shot, I'm like, yeah, they probably got the game in their bag. That was cold. And Cat up until today, Cat was finally beating the playoff dropper allocation, just like the guy got traded for. Julius Randle, who beat the Lakers in 5 last night, made a video on them. I should have checked that out. And also, they beat the Pistons today in 6 on the road in Detroit. Now, Cat didn't really have that good of a game. He had that humongous steal, and he ended up going 1 or 2 from the free throw line, and they ended up getting the ball back. But still, that was a humongous steal. Great foul by Jalen Duren. Ended up working out. I really don't remember what happened after they ended up getting a rebound after he missed his second free throw. But yeah, Cat, this playoff series was insanely clutch. He hit multiple clutch shots. He was shooting like 30-foot threes, hitting them from deep. He had this tough midi up until the end of the game. He had a tough midi, like I want to say, off the top of my head, I want to say like right corner midi, tough shot at the end of the game 4, until a long 3 at the end of that same exact game. Like back-to-back Cat possessions. Tough midi, clock running down. By the way, shot clock violation. He comes up. Next possession. In rhythm, like Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez in 2025, I laugh. Cat, 2025 is that fucking guy. He's a demon. Comes up in stride. Swoosh. Net. Nothing but net. Cat is one of the greatest shooting bigs of all time. He is that guy. Also, another thing I would mention as well. That Cade miss, the controversial ending of the non-foul THJ at the end of game, I believe that was game 4. Yeah, that might have been a foul, but I guess we'll never know at this point. Very disappointing series in my opinion from Deuce McBride. He hit like 1-3 in this game towards the end of like these first, maybe like the first or some shit like that, maybe third, I don't know. Other than that, disappointing. He's supposed to be like a 3-and-D guy, be a hard-nosed defender and hit his threes, be able to shot create in the mid-range, get to the cup as well. Didn't really see much of that, unfortunately. Not a good series from Deuce McBride, who could be one of the X factors, Cameron Payne was amazing in game 1. Outside of that, not really, but that's Cam Payne, he's either going to be really good or, just sit back on the bench. Yeah. Bridges was up and down, but today he was up. He had like shooting wise, I felt like it was pretty good. Defensive wise, he had his moments, but overall, you traded 5 first bench for the guy, and he's now your 4th option behind Brunson, behind Cat, behind OG, and then himself. He didn't play an awful series. I'll give him that. I'll say objectively, he played a good series, But for that production, I expect like really good. But still, not gonna complain about that Brunson. Not gonna complain about that Bridges performance in the first round. I expected a little bit more. Was it bad though? No, it was not. Again, like today we saw the good, but there is definitely something called the Josh Hart experience. OG Anunoby is a gamer. Today he started off decent. I feel like I got cold for a little bit, then he ended up coming back, OG's a gamer. He was glued to Cade. I loved having OG glued to Cade. Other side, I love having Asar glued to Brunson, and so obviously Brunson is the clutch 3 over Asar, just shakes and bakes him in. Yeah, that was tough. Me and my boy, our legend Tyler Kolek unlocked Coach Thibs as well. Unlock Pacome Daddier as well. Unlock Pacome Daddier next season. At Knicks in 6, they won in 6. Hey, I'm just saying though. On to the Pistons. Nobody expected you to be here. You lost, 28 games last year, won 14 or something like that. You end up, drafting Ron Holland. Nobody thought you'd be the 6th seed. Now, the East, let's be honest, past them, the plane, my team, the Heat, 10th seed. PU, what is that smell? Magic, great defensively. Offensively, though, ugh, he's a lot to be desired. By the way, offseason, Pistons, get a second option. Jaden Ivey, when he comes back, is not a second option. Tobias Harris is not a second option. Jalen Duren is not a second option. Malik Beasley is not a second option. Go out and get you a second option. Maybe that is free agency. Maybe that's a trade. Go out and get you a second option, okay? Cade is your number 1 guy. One critique on Cade. Work on your threes. Paolo is in love with the midi. Not a really good mid-range shooter. Kind of felt like at points this game, in particular, Cade finally maybe fell in love with the 3 too much when he wanted to attack them because he's a big PG. He's like 6'7", 6'8". Attack the rim, get to the midi, get to the free throw line. So on the threes. Last year SGA wasn't shooting a lot of threes. This year he's having the best year of his career shooting threes, and he's shooting efficiently and he's shooting a lot more of them. So he can do that. But Cade shot like 25% before today's game in the playoffs from three, and regular season like 35.8%. Just right around average. So work on your threes, Cade Cunningham. Malik Beasley had his moments. He struggled not above the break, but catch and shoot for a while. 6 threes tonight in the first half, and then he obviously at the end doesn't do anything really in the second half, and he drops the basketball in Gary Trent Jr. fashion against the Bucks with the AJ Green miscommunication, which was just an insane sequence again. That end of the game tonight was insane. I mean, the Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris, Cat, the falling there, to the Cade miss, to the Brunson bucket, to Beasley at the end. I mean, that was just disgusting. But Beasley's on a veteran minimum. He definitely is going to get paid. So shout out to Beast, shout out to Beast. No bad taste in their mouth at the ending. Snapchat troll, Instagram troll, social media troll, and then he ends up like that. That's a bad look, Beast. But hey, it is what it is. He had a phenomenal first half. We saw Faisal Nassar. I'm not gonna lie. I like what I saw from Nassar. Defensively, amazing. Rebounding wise, definitely want to see improve his free throws though. But defensively, you can see the tools, the athlete tools on Nassar Thompson. Him and his brother Amen are very, very, very gifted athletes for sure. Definitely rocked out this series. A lot bigger of a fan of Nassar Thompson. Last year, up in this year, the blood clots, and then watching in and out of Pistons games, wasn't really able to see the flats consistently with Nassar Thompson. But watching him locked in for a 6-game series, I really saw the potential of Nassar Thompson, and I'm a fan. But again, Nassar, work on your free throws. For the most part, I liked what he did defensively on Jalen Brunson, though, for sure. Shout out B-Ball Paul. Isaiah Stewart was out from like game 2 to game 6. I honestly did not see what happened to him. I remember they panned on him during a fight, and that was hysterical. Other than that, yeah. Paul Reed has moments. He had a couple turnovers. Paul Reed's not going to do too much. Defensively, he was really stout, I would say. T-Shay had his moments today. He hit a 3, and then he ended up playing basically the whole entire fourth for the most part, up until the end, really. He had a good amount. I mean, it's T-Shay. You live with him. It's the T-Shay experience. To shoot you in a game, shoot you out of a game, win you a game, lose you a game. He didn't do that this game, He was solid, He had to charge, I guess, on Brunson at the end of the way. Tim Hardaway Sr., Heat legend, was getting all riled up. Very, very excited, which you love to see. Want more from Ron Holland, though. He didn't give too much clock, When you draft the guy out early, you want to see more of him. He had an up and down rookie year. Hopefully next year you can fully unlock him. I say we in terms of just overall. I'm not a Pistons fan. He felt like I mentioned earlier. And Schroeder, he had a low-key legacy series on both ends of the basketball. He was getting to the mid-range, getting to the cup, getting to the three-point line, hitting some really clutch shots. Just really in his bag off the bench at the 6 man. I want to see what happens with him this offseason. I believe he is a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see what happens with that. I like him defensively as well. He had a couple nice possessions guarding Jalen Brunson. He was insanely clutch. A defense for him, for Dennis the Menace, was really good. Tobias here played surprisingly a really good, played a pretty good series, to be honest. He had like 20 or 22 point first half tonight. Played pretty solid as well. Toby getting to the mid-range, getting to the cup. Defensively, he's trying his hardest. Even though Cat, Brunson had their moments on him getting the switches. But it is what it is. Those are 2 all-NBA caliber players. So shout out to Toby. Maybe institute some more Simone Fontecchio. Maybe introduce some more Marcus Sash. Maybe introduce somebody else on your bench. Maybe bigger staff. But overall, talent for talent, the Knicks just beat the Pistons. Brunson clutched up. Other games previously, Cat clutched up. It's just a talent thing. The Pistons are a really young team. You don't have a second option, really a third option. Cade is your number 1 guy. Want to see what you work on this 3. But other than that, really good series from the Pistons. Shout out to y'all. And Knicks, second round, you go against the Celtics. Now, it might be over before we started going against that juggernaut of a team, but it is what it is. Let's see what happens with the New York Knickerbockers. So, yeah, shout out to the Knicks. Y'all move on. Jalen Brunson, you are that guy. Yeah. Other than that, that is the video. So go down below. Drop a like, comment down below. Sub up. Make sure to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. It's your boy John. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and I'm out, man. Peace.